distinguished guests, it is an honor for me to open this panel and to salute you on behalf of the Faculty of Political Science, Philosophy and Communication Sciences from the West University of Timișoara, the faculty that offers the Master Program of Global Security Studies. The European Union is based on the concept of prosperity. European peace began to lead, ensured by the fact that the Europeans began to lead a very good life from an economic perspective after the Second World War. The Europe of the regions is a reality, and we considered it necessary to discuss the prosperity of the regions in our conference. Our first speaker is Mr. Casian Nițulescu, State Secretary in the Ministry of Energy from Romania. Mr. Nițulescu has a master degree from the Petroșan Technical University, a law degree from the Titu Maiorescu Law University of Bucharest, and he is also a graduate of the National Defense College Class 2023. Mr. Nițulescu has also a vast professional experience as a leader engineer at the Petrila Coal Preparation Plant, a branch of Compania Națională a Huilei S.A. Mr. State Secretary Pavel Casian Nițulescu, the floor is yours.
Bună ziua! Doamnelor și domnilor distinși participanți, în primul rând mulțumesc pentru invitație, felicit organizatorii pentru implicarea în realizarea acestui eveniment, iar New Strategy Center dovedește o perseverență continuă în promovarea și dezvoltarea securității economice naționale, așezând provocărilor globale și regionale cu care ne confruntăm. După cum bine cunoaștem cu toții, traversăm la nivel european, dar și național, o perioadă a transformărilor în domeniul energiei, atât de important pentru economia și prosperitatea noastră, un domeniu cu un rol foarte bine definit în procesul de tranziție și de consolidare a securității noastre economice. Anii precedenți, marcați de o criză a prețurilor de energie și de consecințele războiului de la granița Uniunii Europene, au dus la o regândire a modului în care statele membre, chiar și România, se raportează la problematica securității energetice și a aprovizionării cu energie, inclusiv dintr-o perspectivă care este în armonie cu standardele de mediu. România a întreprins eforturi în direcția diversificării surselor de energie și a diversificării producției interne de gaze naturale, de înlocuire, în primul rând, a capacităților de producție în procesul de retehnologizare, de creștere și integrare a producției de regenerabile, fiind totodată deschisă să implementeze soluții alternative. Îmi face mare plăcere să aduc în atenția auditoriului rolul proeminent pe care îl atribuim gazului natural, atât la nivel național, după lungi deliberări în forurile europene, un combustibil esențial pentru economia românească în procesul de transformare a sectorului energetic. În mod special, pentru România, relevanța gazelor naturale se concentrează în contribuția pe care acestea o au în flexibilizarea sistemului energetic, în aportul semnificativ pe care îl au la reducerea emisiilor de carbon prin înlocuirea etapizată a cărbunelui și, nu în ultimul rând, foarte relevant pentru tematica panelului nostru, în creșterea gradului de securitate energetică în aprovizionare la nivel național și regional deopotrivă. Prin urmare, nu pot decât să subliniez importanța exploatării resurselor de hidrocarburi din Marea Neagră la asigurarea securității energetice a României, iar cantitățile suplimentare de gaze naturale din Marea Neagră, alături de producția onshore, vor asigura atât acoperirea în integralitate a consumului intern de gaze naturale a României, cât și disponibilitățile de export pe țări care nu și-au diversificat încă sursele de gaze sau care se află în situația dependentă de o singură sursă. Vreau pe această cale să felicit companiile care dezvoltă exploatările din largul Mării Negre pentru demersurile pe care le întreprind în direcția creșterii producției de gaze naturale a României. Rezervele importante de hidrocarburi din perimetrul Mării Negre, în principal cele rezultate din exploatarea zăcământului Neptun Deep, vor reconfigura securitatea energetică nu numai a României, ci și a întregii regiuni. Astfel, resursele din Marea Neagră și construcția infrastructurii de transport pentru preluarea acestora asigură pe termen lung următoarele aspecte. 1. Diversificarea surselor de alimentare cu gaze naturale. 2. Reducerea gradului de dependență față de importul de gaze din surse externe, inclusiv pentru statele europene din regiunea Europei Centrale și a Europei de Sud, și a Europei de Sud-Est, încă dependente de o unică sursă, făcând posibilă aprovizionarea unor țări precum Republica Moldova, țara noastră de suflet. Și 3. Valorificarea gazelor pe piața din România. Fără îndoială, România se prefigurează ca actor regional principal în plan energetic și cred tărie că dezvoltările de la Marea Neagră vor debloca potențialul încă neexploatat din perspectiva rezervelor de gaze naturale și plasa viitorul sector energetic românesc pe noi coordonate. Exploatarea resurselor de gaze din Marea Neagră va asigura nu doar securitatea energetică a României, ci va contribui și la stabilitatea economică a regiunii Balcanilor. Securitatea energetică devine fundamentul securității economice, iar România este conștientă de importanța unei infrastructuri energetice reziliente și diversificate. Investițiile în tehnologii noi și în dezvoltarea resurselor interne sunt esențiale pentru a ne asigura că suntem pregătiți să facem față provocărilor viitoare. Cooperarea regională și parteneriatele internaționale sunt de asemenea vitale. România este angajată să colaboreze cu toate țările din regiunea Balcanilor și, bineînțeles, cu partenerii noștri europeni pentru a dezvolta soluții comune la provocările energetice și pentru a asigura o dezvoltare economică durabilă și stabilă. Pe lângă resursele tradiționale, noi, ca stat, ne propunem să fim avangarda adoptării și implementării noilor tehnologii energetice și aș dori să menționez câteva dintre aceste tehnologii, bineînțeles și importanța lor strategică. Aș începe cu captarea, transportul, stocarea dioxidului de carbon și pot spune că această tehnologie va juca pe viitor un rol crucial în reducerea emisiilor de carbon și în atingerea obiectivelor noastre de neutralitate climatică, iar investițiile în captare, stocare și utilizarea carbonului vor permite României să-și continue dezvoltarea industrială fără a compromite atât mediul cât și industriile energofage. Tot de importanță majoră este și hidrogenul, care este văzut ca și un vector, un combustibil al viitorului, cu potențial de a transforma sectoarele industriale.
Institute for Development and International Relations from Croatia. Ana Maria Boromiza took her doctorate at the Economic Faculty in Zagreb, a master in European Studies, College of Europe, NATO in Poland. She now works at the Institute for Development and International Relations in Zagreb. She teaches at postgraduate level at the University of Zagreb. Ana Maria Boromiza, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, that I will be able to deal with those challenges and that we all as a region will be able to deal with economic security and regional prosperity. So first I will try to delineate what I am talking about. So we were talking about what is the region, so what are the differences between the Western Balkans, the countries which are within the EU, who are adhering to the EU, who pretend that they want to go to the EU but really don't, whether the influence is from Russia, from China, from US, from EU, and how does it impact the region, and whether we are in the age of economic security. So we have various pools of attraction for the region, and those pools, their centers are seen as something which can bring prosperity. At the same time, it sometimes doesn't bring prosperity, it brings confusion and conflicting interests. And in this respect, regional cooperation and the way to deal with those conflicting interests might be a solution to help us to get into the age of the economic security. And if we are talking whether we are currently in the age of the economic security, it's wishful thinking. So we know that the economic security was highly endangered by Corona, then we have the war, and the International Energy Agency announced that the ongoing energy crisis is the first truly global one. So all the countries are affected, and as said in the introductory speech, so what is happening in the Black Sea doesn't stay in the Black Sea, and what's happening globally affects here, and it's the other way around. So the region is creating crises which are replicated everywhere in the world, and the world crises are replicated for the region. So in those circumstances, it's quite difficult to have economic security. And we know that the energy is indispensable for any economic activity and for well-being of citizens. So if we look what is energy security, is that we have sufficient energy sources at adequate prices for industry and for citizens. And in theoretical framework, we usually analyze those through the aspects of availability, accessibility, acceptability, and affordability. So 4 A's of energy security. And those aspects are always conflicting. And if we have available energy, then it's sometimes not acceptable. For instance, as a coal, which is available in Western Balkans, but due to its impact on climate and environment, it's becoming less and less acceptable and affordable. So the adequate energy mix is the key for energy security, and by doing so, for the economic security. And diversification of sources and routes, as State Secretary already said, is the key for increasing the energy security. However, there is a challenge in balancing short-term energy security challenges, which are being aggravated by the invasion of Russia to Ukraine, and the long-term efforts for the decarbonization. So to have currently enough energy, which is not excessively expensive, all the countries of the Western Balkans decided to rely on existing domestic energy sources, and in majority of cases it's the coal and lignite with low quality and high emissions. So that's not something which is sustainable for the long term. On the other hand, if they invest in those sources to be available, the investment capacity for some newer technologies are decreasing, so this becomes a lock in infrastructure and stranded costs. So this dealing with current problems diminish our capacity to deal with expected future problems. And considering the political and economic decisions that have been taken, they are not always coherent with the current energy mix and the current energy problems. So we have a completely different situation, for instance, in Northern Macedonia, which fully relies on imports of gas from Russia, but completely adhered to European Common and Foreign Security Policy and fully implemented the sanctions against Russia. And on the other hand, We have Serbia and Bosnia and Herzegovina, which are not so dependent on Russia, but from the other reasons do not apply European external policies. So this also frames the future development not only of the energy sector and economic security, but also what is the regional prosperity and how it will be framed. So if we look at the renewables as a solution, and they are often promoted as something which can be produced locally, so import dependency is being decreased. However, the rare materials which are necessary for those technologies are also not equally distributed throughout the world, and China then has a significant potential, and its attraction as a partner or strategic partner is increasing. So all those elements are somehow creating a bigger pictures, and the capacity of policymakers and the and companies to deal with those challenges is being at stake, especially considering the Balkan fatigue, which also, as we heard in previous session, has two sides. So one is from the partners, so which are reluctant to provide more help and to be involved and to understand what's really going on. And on the other hand, the fatigue from the countries which went to transition 30 years ago, haven't finalized it, and now to go to another transition, which is promoted from the EU as a fair one, which will leave no one behind, and everybody should prosper. However, some of the changes which are necessary remind on the situation we had before. So we had a circular economy not because we were environmentally conscious, because we didn't have abundant sources, so we were using and reusing all the resources we have. The economy of sharing or barter trade, or however you call it, was something what we were using in the region, not voluntary and not because we thought it was good for environment, people and everything, but because we couldn't afford anything else. So given the current challenges and increase of energy prices, which are reflected in increase of commodity prices, increase of transport prices, and the promotion of green transition, which also includes those aspects which do not seem to be too sexy, the reluctancy of the countries of the region to implement those painful reforms seem to be reasonable, especially considering what are the main players in the field, and that the energy companies and people who work there are earning decent money, and which is beneficial for the states and national budgets and the people working there. So the idea how to deal with energy security and to improve standard of living and to make the transition attractive requires very wide policy coordination, and we know that in everywhere, but especially in this part of the region, we have very scarce human resources, and the cooperation among the different ministries and different sectors is often challenging, it's time-consuming, and we are pressed by time. So those are the issues which have to be dealt seriously, and some of the ideas to develop regional solutions, so it were several attempts by the European Commission and the World Bank and some foreign donors to optimize production capacity for electricity in the region, which were not well accepted by the countries, because then again it's relying on the partners, which are not always, we don't see them always as trustful. However, maybe I should also go back at the beginning of the conference and whether we would like to be Churchill or Chamberlain, and to consider how it was the EU created, so the attempt to avoid the future wars and to attempt to have a common authority for coal and steel production, which were at the time the key materials. Now energy is the key material, well, service, however you call it, and some of those ideas might be necessary if we would like to have affordable energy and if we would like to have prosperity, which implies at least peace and some kind of cooperation among the partners within the region. So, and this is challenging, and I think we have enough on the table to discuss, so without further ado, I would like to pass the mic to somebody else.
Thank you very much, Ana Maria Boromisa, for the Thank you again for the extremely interesting speech and for the current information you gave us. If we had more time, surely your lecture would have turned into a 2-hour like it in our university. But surely those in the room will have questions for later. Our next speaker is Ligiu Ardelean, Country Manager, Atos GDC, Romania and Bulgaria. Ligiu Ardelean has over 15 years of experience in customer and sales strategy, IT service management, and tech operations management, consistently driving customer experience improvements. Her career in Atos began as a tower service manager, and she has since held multiple leadership positions, culminating in her role as head of GDC Romania. Ligiu Ardelean, you have the floor.
Excellent, perfect. Always wanted that since a kid. So the joke was intentional because I know we're after lunch, so I'll continue on the same front. So first of all, we thank you for your attention. And thank you to our wonderful and graceful host, which is the West University of Timișoara. So thank you for that, really appreciate it. Coming back on the why we are here, I feel like I've been part of a bit of a student body, university environment, which I love. I still hold very close to my heart the university years. And now we talk IT. So my role is to lead two same companies from the same group in 2 countries who are sisters, yes, Romania and Bulgaria. My goal here is to present, we have the slides, awesome. As any corporate, since I was 19, of course, slides. So what we're going to talk today, why we believe IT has a huge impact into regional prosperity in the age of economic security. Now, and I think we can skip, it's just a summary slide, thank you. These are mainly the 2 topics we'll be discussing about. Perfect. With your approval, I'll stand. I hope I'm not messing the camera. It's easier to see. Why technology can absolutely transform business and create new opportunities for growth and innovation. I think this is very intuitive, the why. If all in this room we make a very honest exercise with an honesty exercise with ourselves, I think we are the 2nd generation in our families who do not, let's say, use the products of our own backyard garden. Yeah. So in my case, for example, and I'm positive it's the case for many people in this room, we are the 2nd generation who do that. Let that sink in a bit. It says that our grandparents' generation lived a very, very different life than we do now in terms of super basic stuff, like shower, shopping for food, TV watching, Netflix, watching share price on our phones, etc. So what happened in 2 generations that we are here, and we don't have to grow our own food anymore in the back of our garden, somebody else does it for us. Well, for sure, technology happened in the past 2 generations, so absolutely no doubt that it can absolutely transform business. Now, how can it happen? It absolutely needs to happen in a very secure and safe environment, because otherwise our energy does not go into the direction of how can I develop energy for good, technology for good. Yeah? I need to develop technology for something else. So actually technology for good is one of the mantras, one of the values of the company I work for, which is Atos. So, and I think it really represents the basics. We can all do stuff, technology in our case, yeah, IT in our case, in case we have a secure and safe environment. Now, the two key themes around my another 5-minute speech is role of technology, which I think it's very intuitive, and the second one, development of skills. So the role of technology, perfect, thank you. I looked up some data before our today's conference, and apparently more than 6% of our GDP in Romania does come from the IT sector. And if you look at numbers, almost 250,000 of people, one way or the other, have something to do IT-related here. In Bulgaria, maybe a bit of a difference, because maybe the professional sector is a bit different, yeah, maybe not so much directly technical. However, 4.5 in their national GDP, and I, now knowing Bulgaria for more than a year from this sense, I know already it's growing. Employs tens of thousands. I didn't get a finite number, but I know for sure that it's tens of thousands. For example, Atos in Romania, Atos Group, under the two brands it operates, which is Atos Global Delivery Center plus Eviden, we hold together 3,700, something like that, 38. Cool. So as you can see, it's actually a very strong voice in terms of GDP, maybe not so strong in terms of loudness, but in terms of financial impact, absolutely. Why is it important? Exactly why, in the sense I started my presentation, we don't want to depend on one source, on one type of economy, especially the traditional ones. So diversity and economic resilience, which I just heard mentioned, I think it's super, it's absolutely key. So it offers that, so we're not depending on just one source, so it absolutely makes sense. I think we can move. From this slide, I think the bottom part is the one that I would like to raise your attention on. This spring, for us, was a big deal for many reasons. It offered us, the advance in technology offered us, as a group, the possibility that since we started already building last year, this year we were able to launch something that the group has seen for the first time in Romania, yeah? Developed by some people educated here at the schools and universities in Romania. The first AI AWS Center of Excellence, AI, artificial intelligence. What does it mean? We took, it almost formed itself naturally. So it was, yes, with an intent, but it was almost a natural development of some really smart, really sharp minds in the room who said, yeah, we can do that. Whatever we see on TV that it's happening, we can do that as well. So they actually did it. They're very energetic, late working hour sort of group, very dynamic. But these are the brains that actually push the engine, so we follow. So that happened for us. It's whenever you're going to hear us talk about what we did this year, you're going to hear me and my colleagues many times mention that. I think in all of our customer visits that we have, it's a super proud moment for us. Before moving, I'll just give you just one example. AI is a super buzzword. I don't think there's any technical presentation you go to and the speaker doesn't mention it. I can bet a very good bottle of wine that you're going to hear AI in any techie conference talk you're going to go to. But what is AI? AI is has a very simple definition, actually. Yeah, it's a way to make a very democratic knowledge among all the people. So you don't have to be guru in any sort of technology. Yeah, So you need to start learning prompt engineering, you need to start learning the basics of AI, but it doesn't have to be that you graduated with flying colors, I don't know what kind of a specialty university. So it's a way to socialize, yeah, to level up let's say the level of intelligence or skills needed in order to produce AI. And I'll give you a very small example. One Friday, it's not last anymore, I've said this story a few times, and the first time I said it was last Friday, now it's not anymore. We had a presentation to approximately 100 and something of my colleagues. And we in IT use a lot of caps, litere mari. And we had a presentation for around 100 people who were service managers, my job when I started in Atos. And with the right prompts, meaning commands, yeah, from 9, if you start your morning, you have a coffee at 9, 9:05 you're done, 9:10, you're done, and then you put the right prompts in your internal tool, yeah, of AI, which we have. By 9:25, so in exactly 15 minutes, you can have your full workload done for the day. It almost made me jealous to see how easy life can be now, because when I started it, I had to have a bit of knowledge, Excel skills to the sky and back, network, the right questions, which were silly in the beginning. So now, with the right prompts, which are 4, yeah, in that sense, in 15 to 20 minutes, my full work, so jealousy activated, okay? But we moved on. The point is, what I'm trying to say here with this story is that you can go from 0 to hero literally in less than a month. That's what AI does. So ignoring it or saying, yeah, it's going to happen, but not to us, not in my domain, someone else, it's not something we can do. We need to take into account, or else we're not going to be the heroes of the economy anymore. Okay, I think we can move. Not many slides anymore, I promise. What does it do? Of course, it creates jobs. Yeah, I think that this one, it's intuitive. I just mentioned the 250,000 before, so absolutely key. I think I'll continue and talk a bit about the skills, and with that, I'll wrap it up. If we can go to the next slide. Yeah. So for us, what's important? We need to have absolutely digital skills. So there are 2 ways to build those. You can be super savvy at home, find the right connectors in your life that help you build the knowledge, or you can do the right stuff and then you have the connections with the talent pool. What's talent pool? Universities. And that's the easy path. And this is, we pay a big compliment to the universities we work with as partners, because it's super important that you're connected to the right type of talent you need to fast track, to skip some gates, yeah, to have the right minds with you. Does it mean that when you have somebody, I think we can move to the next slide, thank you. Does it mean that by the time you take somebody from school, is he or she ready-made, full stack of skills to work? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Real life happens. And then, super important, and that you as a company or as a state institution as well, why not? You are equipped with the right elements to teach. Yeah, so not teach for the sake of teaching. We can all do that. Have our calendars full for the sake of having a calendar full. That's not the goal. The goal is to teach the right stuff to make that person a hero. So now I think going forward, I think building the digital skills in our world, making sure you retain the talent, making sure you fight it has a name, it has a smart name, the brain, I'll remember after the talk. The fact that you lose the brains in the company or in the group because they're exiting towards other countries, brain drain, I got it. Yeah. So we need to fight that. I think it's very, I'll copy your word, very sexy, to find an interesting environment outside your country. You're specialized here, you learned here in a cool university, you had a cool company who invested AI or whatever in you, and then you decide to leave, I think it's super sad. And we need to make super conscious efforts to make sure that these right minds are still here or in this room next year. So 2 main takeaways from all my, not 5 minutes, a bit more. Technology, super important player, I truly believe that. That's why I operate in this company. Bullet 2, digital skills. And it's not about just doing the classes, it's about doing the right type of classes. So you keep engaged the smart heads that we have in the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ligia Ardelian. You gave us the perspective of one of the most important companies in our region about how the business environment ensures prosperity. And technology in Europe is one of the Europe's asset, and it is vital to remain at the forefront of this field. Our next speaker is Alexandru Virgil Maximescu, Vice President OMV Petrom Romania. Mr. Maximescu graduated from the Faculty of European Studies and the International Relations, Babeș-Bolyai University in Cluj-Napoca, and has a major in political science from the Westfälische Wilhelms Universität in Münster, Germany. Mr. Maximescu has joined OMV Petrom's Public Affairs Department in 2012 and serves as director starting early 2014. He is part of all issues relevant to the industry and maintains the dialogue with political and near political stakeholders groups, EU institutions and other international actors. Mr. Maximescu has both government and private sector experience in domestic and international affairs. Mr. Maximescu, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon also from my side, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very proud to be once again here in Timișoara. Last year we were in another panel talking about the Neptune Deep project. We were very close to the final investment decision. And this year we are proud to announce that this final investment decision was taken, and our biggest, most ambitious energy project in Romania, and I would dare to say also in the region, was started. Because I think images and a film is sometimes more powerful than simple words. I would propose you to start with a short 2 minutes movie, and then I will wrap up. Okay. This journey will take till 2027, when the project will be commissioned and the first gas production will start. But let's look back a little bit. When has this journey started? It has started in 2010, 2011, when OMV Petrom has signed the first agreement with ExxonMobil in order to explore the Black Sea. This started with 3D seismic, the acquisition. Vessels were in the Black Sea looking for hydrocarbons. It was a very extensive period. Could you go to the next slide, please? Okay, thank you very much. We were lucky, we were holders. Such mega projects or small entrepreneurial businesses need a stable and predictable fiscal and legal framework. We have a plan, we have a budget, we have a timeline. We can manage the market risks and we take financial risks. But if other risks that are not under our control pop up, then such projects or even smaller projects will fail. We believed a lot in this project, and this is why I think we are where we are. We are very proud to be together with Romgaz, a state-owned company. They have joined the project last year. This project is operated by OMV Petrom, but the ownership is 50% OMV Petrom, 50% Romgaz. Last year we took the final investment decision, and till now we have awarded more than 90% of the contracts. Preparatory works for the project have started already, and in parallel we are close to finalize the environmental impact assessment of this project and move towards the building permit. Why do we consider that this project is truly a transformational project? And I would go to the next slide. First gas is waited in 2027, as I told you. This will bring to Romania's shore, starting with 2027, close to 9 BCM of natural gas only from Neptune. This will double the existing gas production of Romania. This will transform Romania into the largest gas producer in the European Union. The development costs of this project is close to 4 billion euros, just to understand the magnitude of the project. It will deliver an estimated total production of 100 BCM. We have some figures of the complexity. We are drilling 1,000 meters below the seawater for this reservoir. The second reservoir is around 120 meters below the water. All the platforms will be in the end unmanned. We will build 160 kilometers of pipeline towards the shore, where we will tie in the Romanian national transmission system of Transgaz, where we will have a small gas metering station. We will not harm the shores of the Black Sea. You have seen it in the movie. We will build a micro tunnel a few kilometers out in the sea, and we will come up more than 1 kilometer onshore in order not to touch the beaches. Why is it a game changer for us, Romgaz and OMV Petrom, and for Romania? And I would dare to say also the region. Next slide, please. I think the State Secretary has also said it very clearly. The next decades are decades of transformation towards a zero and low carbon economy. Renewables are the future, and there is no doubt about this. But renewables need another source in order to balance the electricity grid. The sun is shining, but not always. The wind is blowing, but not always. And natural gas goes very well hand in hand with renewables. It has the lowest CO2 emission from all fossil fuels. It is very versatile. Just to give you an example, 860 megawatt gas-fired power plant can wrap up production from 0 to 860 megawatt in 2 hours, which is amazing. In the end, there are also significant economic benefits of this project. We have estimated for the lifetime of the project benefits for the Romanian state budget for approximately 20 billion euros. Around 9,000 jobs will be created and maintained by this project. And the economic added value of this project is estimated at 40 billion euros. And I would conclude with the next slide, because I think this is also very important, looking especially at the carbon footprint of this project. Next slide, please. Because we are now in the phase of obtaining the environmental permit. Just to have an understanding of the CO2 intensity. 1 BOE of natural gas that will be produced by Neptune Deep will have approximately 2.18 kilograms of CO2. Very high industry standards that we are using, latest technology, and I would say one of the best contractors worldwide, and I would name here two, Transocean and Halliburton from the United States. So we are working with the best in the industry. The last slide, I think, speaks also for itself. And this shows why Romania will become an important regional player, especially in the energy field. The Romanian gas consumption is roughly 10 BCM per year. We will be in 2027 close to 20 BCM of gas production. So the surplus will be easily available for the neighboring countries. Moldova has a consumption of 1 BCM, Bulgaria close to 3, Hungary is close to 9. So by becoming the biggest gas producer in the European Union, Romania becomes also an energy security provider in the region.
Project that can bring a plus in the fight for the energy independence of our country, but also for the EU countries. We talked about projects, and obviously this must be supported with money. So our last speaker comes from one of the important banks in Romania. Mr. Cristian Goiceanu is the Chief Security Officer of BCR, part of Erste Group. He's an alumnus of University Polytechnica Bucharest with a degree in mechatronics, robotics, and automation engineering. And he has also a PhD in engineering. Mr. Goiceanu, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would intend to keep your attention with me for the next about 10 minutes, most probably, by starting to say that definitely I will not preach for any kind of BCR products, even though they are great. So if you don't have them or if you don't know them, please just get in touch with them and you'll be in love of them. So this is one thing. Second thing that I will tell you about is the fact that I will not speak at all or almost at all about technology. So my previous speakers did a good job, so I have nothing to say about it. That's it. But instead, I intend to talk about other kind of different areas that somehow are very close to the topic of this panel and meaning regional prosperity. And if we are talking about regional prosperity, we should talk about what does it mean to be prosperous, and to be prosperous of an entire region. It's exactly the same thing that what happened when the Europe was constructed. So each and every of the countries should be prosperous in order the region to be prosperous. So this is one key element that I would like to talk about. But can we talk about regional prosperity in case of, I would say, a war? Most probably not. If we look what happens in our eastern part of the country, basically after our borders, you'll say that there is no economic prosperity there. This is clear. So it means that one of the points that has to be, or it's actually a prerequisite for the regional prosperity, it's economic security. And when we are talking about security and mental protection, but also with the kind of economic reason in mind, we have to be able to protect our assets. So whatever we have here, we have to protect and to be able to protect them. And the last but not the least, it's a kind of equitable distribution about what does it mean to be, let's say, to have a prosperous country and to distribute the wealth between our citizens. But coming back to the prosperity, and here I will say a little bit about what does it mean to be prosperous, and I will not definitely come to you with GDP per capita or other kind of financial indicators about this. No, I will touch a different kind of element, and I will talk about quality of life. I think it's much easier to be understood by everybody, because at the end of the day, it touches everybody. It touches everybody. So what does it mean, quality of life? Definitely it's a qualitative indicator, so it's not something that could be matched in figures. What means quality life for me, maybe it's completely different from somebody else. And what means quality of life of somebody else could be completely different to me. But at the end of the day, if many of us in this country will say that we have a quality of life, it really means that Romania is a prosperous country. So this is our target. Now, how to have a quality of life? That's one of the key questions, basically, or at least a logical one, moving towards. Quality of life, by the way, there is an institute for studying quality of life and so on, so it's not something that we invent or we reinvent the wheel. But some of the key points from assessing quality of life, first is the income, natural, we have to have an income. Then it's a quality of living, then it's a quality of air, then it's a quality of community. So all of these kind of things that are leading to the positive, I would say, conclusion that we have a quality of life. But what's interesting to say, it's the fact that in order to reach this kind of quality of life, what we need actually in our world now, we need the following things. What would be finance, exactly as we said at the beginning, so we cannot do it without money. We need technology, innovation, and also digitalization, and we need education. Maybe education more than everything else, because without education we cannot even think about what does it mean to have a sustainable growth. Tech and DG, definitely, and innovation, they are the path. So this is the path that we should go on in order to reach this kind of prosperity. And the last but not least, money is just an instrument. So we need to access it and how to use it properly in order to have this kind of, I would say, or to meet our goal. Now coming back to the first one, education, and here I would say that if we are looking to the world studies relating to quality of life and also prosperity, there are, I would say, two main things that are mentioned by each and every, I would say, person that was interviewed related to quality of life. And they are saying, okay, lack of income, but also lack of education are the key elements of not having any kind of quality of life, or to have a very low quality of life. And then coming back to the education, financial education is one part of it. So we need to understand the money, we need to understand the fact that they are just an instrument, and we need to know how to use them properly. And here I would say that private companies play quite a big, I would say, role in it. And honestly, without any kind of modesty here, I really want to mention that I'm very proud that PCR did quite a good job in it. I don't know if you know about it, but starting, I think, 6 years ago, we start two main programs. One, it's called Școala de Bani, basically money school in English, and the other one is Școala de Business, or business school. So they are addressing two main category of, I would say, the second pillar that I would like to talk about here, it's technology and education, and also digitalization. Kind of buzzword for the time being. Nobody talks about anything today apart of technology, AI, Gen AI, and so on, and other kind of, I would say, very interesting topics. But what does it mean for all of us? Because at the end of the day, Gen AI is not available for everybody. If I'm going somehow out, I don't know, I would say, being arrogant, if you are going about 20 kilometers apart of a big city, you'll see that Gen AI doesn't mean anything, at least in Romania, completely anything. But what is important here is the fact that we started to see that in the big cities, we have a lot of laboratory that actually host innovation. And Romanians are quite good at this, to innovate and to become better and better in terms of technology. And this is what we also did in the bank. We have a lot of labs, but the most important is not the labs that we are doing to build our famous product. I will not say the name, but definitely you know it. But it's the most important thing is that we have open days and basically open doors. So a lot of, I would say, young people from the universities are coming to our open days and open doors days, and they are getting in touch with technology. They are getting in touch with the labs, they are getting in touch with technology, they understand how are we working. And actually, on a yearly basis, there is a program which is called IT Academy. Basically, we have internships, programs, and at the end of the internships, some of the colleagues really choose to stay with us. And that's quite, I would say, an outstanding results, because if you look at the younger generation, to keep them in a place and to say, I would like to work in this company, that's quite an achievement, trust me. And okay, but technology without supporting the entrepreneurs of this country, and about a new program which is called Seed Starter. Seed Starter, it's basically a subsidiary of BCR. It's a completely legal entity. But what it does, it invests in new companies. So it's a kind of business angel, if you want to say it, or if you want to put it in this way. We are investing in new companies or in companies that are producing technologies, usually startups. So if you are one of those, please just knock at our doors and we might do some business together. I will close the technology part, but I cannot close it without speaking about cybersecurity. Close to me, definitely, so I cannot end this kind of small speech about a part of, unless I'm talking about cybersecurity. So technology, digitalization, all these kind of things, we would like to work from each and every place of this world, each and every corner. We would like to be as present as possible, no matter hours and so on. Yeah, it's possible, but without cybersecurity, it's useless. So a key element in all of these kind of things is cybersecurity. Is no longer a buzzword, and now most probably the colleagues from my right hand of the room, they know it very quickly, very clearly. So until now it was to protect the land, air, and the sea. Now there is one more things to protect, also the cyberspace, and lately, but not lastly, also the space. Good. I will close by mentioning, or by, I would say, concluding three main ideas. One is human capital development, very important. We cannot do anything without it. Technology, innovation, digitalization, I have spoken about, and I think it's enough. I will close by touching another subject very close to my heart, which is called social banking. I don't know, in the profit world, it's not very, I would say, present, but I will just say that this is the first line of support for those people that cannot help by themselves. And there is a special institution for this. It's called social finance, at least in our portfolio. Basically, it's a completely company. But their main purpose is to help those people that cannot help by themselves. And basically, when I'm saying this, those people are having financial difficulties, companies with very big financial difficulties, and so on, but mostly private individual. So, in conclusion, regional prosperity without economic security cannot be done, and as I said, human capital, financial inclusion, technology, and innovation are the key elements. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Octavian Goiceanu. Prosperity cannot exist without education and without investments in this field. It is important for us to mark the fact that a bank like BCR Erste boosts education and performance. We still have 15 minutes for questions and answers. I would ask you to introduce yourself briefly and to nominate the speaker to whom you are addressing the question. Deci o să vă rog să vă prezentați scurt în momentul în care doriți să adresați o întrebare și să nominalizați speakerul căruia îi adresați întrebarea. Mulțumesc.
Esteemed speakers, thank you for your valuable contribution for this topic. My name is Darius Șchiopotă. I am a student at the West University of Timișoara. And I would like to ask Mr. Maximescu a question, if I may, regarding our today's topic, security challenges in the Balkans. How would you consider, providing the fact that Neptune is the most valuable project, energetic-wise, in Romania in the last 30 years, how would it contribute to energy independence in the Balkan region?
Thank you very much for your question. Indeed, if we look back to the roots and the corridors that have provided historically gas to the Balkan regions, we will observe that this region was hostage to one gas provider coming from the east. The latest developments, looking back the last 2-3 years, has changed the landscape of the region. Starting with LNG terminals that were built in Croatia, Slovenia, Greece, Turkey, and additional pipelines that are connecting now the region. This has changed the landscape. With Neptune Deep gas and this abundance of gas in the near future for the Balkans will bring with it also more competitive prices, which in the end for the final consumer is without any doubt a benefit. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Colonel Florescu, Brigade Commander, Land Forces, Romanian Land Forces. Thank you very much for a comprehensive and I would say ubiquitous presentation. All of you give us a better insight about technology and from different perspectives. My question is addressed wherever from the panelists who will pick up, just because it's still important, I think, nowadays, not only to speak about technology and development from our own perspective, and I'm speaking academic or big companies, but also from the government, the state. And the question is how you can imagine a private partnership with the government in order to better use of the future technology. Because of course companies are looking for the profit, companies are looking for do the best for themselves and sharing with the people, but in the end of the day is the government who is responsible by leveling everything in the country, because they are produce law, they are distribute the goods. Thank you.
I'm going to start because I'm going to be the bad guy first. You can be the good if you want. So first of all, thank you for the question. So while you were addressing it, I was thinking two ways. I was thinking on one hand, that even become any good functional organization, whether it's private or public, should have the basics of having its process as much as digitalized as possible, as much as it's not the verb, technology in it as possible, okay? So, and it's a loop. So if the public part has its processes more ready to use, yeah, for the people working at the private company, the better. The quality of life will improve, the easiness of, I don't know. However, I believe there's a huge gap right now, yeah, between what the state does in reality to push the pedal, yeah, on technology. So a big difference between the slide deck and the reality. That's what I want to say. So coming back to the bad guy, I think such partnership could exist. I honestly believe there are many companies, private companies in this country, and not only, who would invest effort, talented people, brains, to support. However, there has to be a return on investment, as in any business case, and it's not finance this time. I think it should be in the improvement, into the visible improvement of quality of life and processes and easiness to access, R&D, whatever, yeah, for the companies. Now, I believe the gap, the delta, yes, no question. But what's in it for me, it's very hard to respond to it from a private point of view. Thank you.
Just one comment or short comment from my side. I wouldn't take the challenge being the good guy. No, 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 definitely not. But I will look at the question, and thanks for the question from a different perspective. And in my view, the key word is partnership. Why it's important? Because now in Eindhoven, there are produced microchips for semiconductors, very important part. But before this, Eindhoven was not quite a prosperous city from economical point of view, was quite low. But what happened actually, and this is why I meant the partnership, it was formed a partnership between private companies. They are coming with, I would say, the production. Universities, they are coming with research and development. And basically, the government comes with right policies in order to facilitate all of this.
I think that's one of the important issues in defining success is agreement on the time frame and the risk perception. Because the governments have usually 4 to 5 years perspective. And the business would like to have longer time perspective. So it's one of the issues what government can communicate to voters and the citizens, and to the other aspect, what it can expect in the longer term, especially if the government changes. So what will be the risk for the provider and for the government. So this is one of the issues, and managing the expectation, identifying risks and security risks are the issues, I think, that might determine success of the partnership or its failure.
Thank you. One last question, please.
Sorry for holding you up. Jochen Richter, I spoke this morning. Mr. Masumescu, I was looking at the map that you were showing us. What's your risk assessment that this field lying in an, let's put it this way, interesting area might be also having quite some threats? I'm sure you have been looking into this.
The Neptune gas field is in the exclusive economic zone of Romania. It is bordering the economic exclusive zone of Bulgaria to the south, southeast Turkey, and to the north, further to the north, a disputed zone. You can imagine that as a prudent operator, we have a pretty big risk map, mitigation measures, but we are confident because this is why we took the final investment decision, that the measures that we have in place, the cooperation that the very close cooperation that we have with the Romanian authorities, with neighboring countries, with NATO allies, and the top-tier contractors that we have, that we can manage this situation. It is not an easy security situation. We are monitoring it constantly. Nevertheless,
My name is Claudiu Brandas. I am professor at West University of Timișoara from Faculty of Economics and Business Administration and from the Department of Business Information Systems. And today, it's my honor and pleasure to welcome you to this highly anticipated panel session entitled The Race for Artificial Intelligence, Lesson Learned or to be learned for the future. It's a hot topic and hard mission for me and for my invitees, our speakers, our experts. First, I want to say a few words to introduce these topics because in these days exists a lot of remarks regarding to this topic, artificial intelligence. Well, artificial intelligence can have today two phases, a good phase and a bad phase. And we must be interested in each of them. We can observe that artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence technologies is reshaping today the technology and the security landscapes. In these days, we are at an important moment in human history. Yeah? It's an important moment in human history where technology and security intersect in ways that were unimaginable just a few years or a few decades ago. And in these days, artificial intelligence stands at the forefront of this intersection, promising, that is the good phase, promising to revolutionize various sectors, including national and global security, economic development, and even social and threats related to use artificial intelligence in security. And these threats and concerns are related to AI-powered attacks, to use the artificial intelligence in cyber warfare, deepfake threats, AI in malware development, data poisoning and adversarial attacks, AI in cyber espionage, and last but not least, ethical and regulatory concerns. Our focus today is on the race of AI. This race is characterized by rapid advancements, intense global competition, and profound implications for the future. I want to underline a few of key themes that we want to approach today, that is technological advancement and global competition in the context of national and global security and cyber warfare. Another topics are security concern and risk management, ethical and societal implications, and collaboration opportunities. So I want to introduce our speakers, key speakers, distinguished panelists, each bringing a great expertise and unique perspectives. And I want to start with our first key speaker, Mr. Marius Poșa. It is Mr. Marius Poșa is Undersecretary of State, Ministry of Research, Innovation and Digitalization from Romania. He is in charge of the communication sector and is responsible for the ministry's relation with the Romanian Parliament and with the National Institute for Laser, Plasma and Radiation Physics. He is also a blockchain expert at the National Institute for Research and Development in Informatics. He was a state councillor at Department for Relations with the Republic of Moldova. And I want to invite Mr. Poșa to share their experience and insight to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. În primul rând, o să încep în română. Vă mulțumesc foarte mult, mulțumesc onoratei asistențe, mulțumesc pentru invitație. În numele Guvernului vă adresez mulțumirile și aprecierea pentru ceea ce faceți aici. So I will switch in English. Thank you very much for your presentation. If we talk about AI, intelligence, artificial intelligence, it's like yesterday I was making a joke with somebody on my table. It was everybody knows something and everything about the artificial intelligence. Yes, if we go in the street, everybody know about this subject. As I heard a few moments ago, yes, artificial intelligence, it's something we don't know if it's very good or very bad. What we know, it's the way it's already started, and it's a race. It's actually the most important race of our times, and we must be aligned in this race to choose how we will use this artificial intelligence. We have faces, many faces of the artificial, and if we talk about the security, because this is the main topics of the today conference, I think it's something what we must to understand how can we use it, and how far can we go by herself, the artificial intelligence, and we must to create real policies and certain rules to guide us in this, I don't know, this jungle, like we can name it the artificial intelligence, because it's unknown land. We don't know how far we'll go and how deep will enter in our lives, and how much will help us or how much will destroy us if we don't know to put on the paper the real policies. If we talk about the AI Act, we will see the rules are very clear, but in our times we will see the threats from our borders, from European borders. If we talk about Russia, if we talk about China, we will see they have providing very many solutions who can act like hackers, who can act like destroying our lives, who can make the worst things in our lives. If we talk about the deep fakes, we will see in our times it's very hard to make a difference between what is real or what is a deep fake who can actually affect our lives. So I will be very simple in my explanation, and I will say we need to have certain rules, a real guide, and real lines, because if we'll be outside of these lines, and if we'll not provide very strong policies and to create very strong rules, I think the artificial intelligence can be used against us, not to help us. So if we talk about artificial intelligence in the military field, if we talk in the medical field, if we talk in the social media field, it's a threat if we don't know how to act when we have, I don't know, fake news, fake information, or maybe we have in a certain moment intervene of artificial intelligence to try to steal our lives, to try to destroy our strategies. So once again, I think the main subject and the main discussion in the table of the government is to have a very strong policies and to have very good rules. If we talk about the strategies in military or in defense field, yes, indeed, first of all, we must to think and to find solution to provide a real, I don't know, safe environment when we talk about the threats. If we talk about the Russian threats, the Chinese threats, will be used in terms of like a weapon. So, thank you very much. I will provide answer to any question at the end. And once again, thank you very much, and congratulations for this outstanding conference. And I think I have heard a lot of things, and I think the strategies can be born from the ideas who was provided by the speaker of this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Poșa. Yes, it's indeed true that artificial intelligence can be used for good things, and we hope that humanity will do that. Okay. Next speaker. Our next speaker is Mr. Alexandru Mărgineanu. Mr. Mărgineanu is a security practice leader at Nokia, Romania. He is a telecommunications consultant and expert in cybersecurity with more than 25 years of international experience in the telecommunications industry. Mr. Mărgineanu has a solid industry knowledge and relationship with clients at the CXO level in the telecommunications sector. He has a very good experience in intercultural teams, leading projects across multiple geographic regions, Europe, Asia, and Australia. Please, Mr. Mărgineanu, share your knowledge with us, your experience. I invite you.
Thank you, Claudio. And good afternoon, everybody. It's the second time I'm part of a panel into this event. I'm very happy about it. I would like today to walk you through a few ideas about the intersection between the AI and cybersecurity in the telco world. AI in these days is time to value new services on the market. In that respect, we have conducted a series of discussion with our customers about the state of adoption of AI in their portfolio of products and services. And well, if we go to the next slide, you can see an interesting statistics about resuming the outcome of this questionnaire. And the conclusion is that overall, there is a good progress, but still are led by artificial intelligence and especially customer experience. We can witness a series of initiatives which are rather going silos than, let's say, a proper governance around the AI models. And also our partners of dialogue share with us that a number of challenges they are facing in the, let's say, massive adoption of AI. Among those challenges, factors are data quality, a certain resistance to change within the organizations. So that's something which, within Nokia, we took it serious. and we come up with a series of proposals for our customers. And if we go to the next slide, we can see here a framework developed, aligned with various operators and other technology vendors, and that would be a desirable state of autonomous network. An autonomous network which is driven, it's an architecture, service-based architecture, which is highly relying on cloud. While the industry tendency is to have a disaggregation of the network elements and to place them in containers and in the cloud, various forms of clouds, from private to hybrid and to public. And that is driven by the pressure the operators has to decrease their cost. And that massive deployment of network functions into the cloud, in fact, increase the attack surface if we are talking about the security threats. So that's one of the challenges. Besides that, placing sensitive information in public cloud, it raises serious concerns from the operators. That's one thing. Then it's the data diversity. A network, a telecommunication network, it's composed also from legacy equipment coming from various vendors, following various standards, and that it's a huge set of data which need to be ingested and properly tackled. Last but not least, there is automation adversity which comes from within the organization. New processes has to be adapted concerning confidentiality of information, new structure to be put in place, a certain fatigue which is associated with such large-scale changes. So that's something which we also recognized throughout our dialogue with our partners. And if we go to the next slide, there is a concrete proposal made by Nokia on these challenges, and that's a platform, we're calling it AVA. It's based on Open AI model. It stands for automation, virtualization, and AI, open. So that's basically a platform which is capable of ingesting various data types coming from various sources, and to be able to cope with, to create an AI and analytics model which is capable to provide operators a crisp and a clear view on the operation they are running upon. So basically, and if we go to the next slide, we can see a clear applicability. Well, that's something which shows Nokia approaches for various type of portfolio. In the AI and analytical space, we have developed a series of products on the automation and on the security. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more in the limited time frame we have about the security and about a platform we have developed. And if we go to the next slide, please. I would like to walk you through the challenges in the leverage the AI advancement in reaching their potential targets. So the attackers, the Gen AI will allow attackers to create quite easy new malwares, new sophisticated attacks, and on the other hand, we are trying to build a platform which can prevent, detect, and easily respond to those. So relying on a platform which we call it NetGuard Cyberdome. So if we go to the next slide, please, I can talk a little bit about this cybersecurity dome. So this cybersecurity dome, it's a platform we are building in collaboration with Microsoft Azure, based on Sentinel Security Incident and Event Manager, and Microsoft Model LLM. We have been working with them to train the model to be able to ingest specific telco-centric inputs, like logs, interface parameters, 5G architecture. So all that stuff, it's very specific telco-centric and a powerful platform. We certainly believe in that. And well, now the question to the three key questions: why, how, and what. Why? Because the complexity of the telecom network, it's well known, and now it's getting more and more complex. And well, the operators are struggling, keeping pace with this ever-changing landscape. So that's why we bring this Gen AI engine model in order to be able to cope with the complexity of the operation. How we are doing that? Well, we are doing that by using the Microsoft model. It's a LLM 4.0 generation model, and which is trained specifically with 5G and also some 4G artifacts. So basically what we're trying to do is to create a model which will allow security operation teams of our customers to have a swift explanation, well, a swift detection, explanation behind the attacks, being connected with various threat intelligence engines we have within Nokia and with our partners. And well, the SOC teams can take a quick decision of response. And that's how, and that's also the what. We have deployed this platform with a limited number of customers in a kind of trials, and we have observed a 50% increase in efficiency of the SOC teams. And that's massive. Tell me it's massive because only for example, the incident triage time was a huge consumption of effort from the SOC teams. And that goes quite easy, quite smooth, and well, that's something we have received feedback that it's very relevant. If we go to the next slide, please. That's something which explained the way and how we have trained the models, and we are continuing to enrich the data lake, which consists the inputs for the model. Use cases are being developed basically every week. We have a factor of 5 to 7 use cases developed on the training model. And that's our ambition is to be able to come up with a set of 600 use cases specific telco by the end of the year, which is a massive amount of use cases to be covered. Okay, if we go to the next slide, please. It also it highlights some of the main feature behind this platform with the incident resolution. Also, we are preparing for the post-quantum encryption. That's something which it's still in the development, well, it's an innovation development. We are working on use cases concerning the cryptography and the key exchanges based on quantum computing. What I wanted to share with you, I do have a limited timeline to stick in, but I'm open to any questions you might have concerning the topic or the product. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandru. Yes, it's very hot topics, how we can use artificial intelligence to assure our defense in network communication. Yeah, we have artificial intelligence in every day of our lives. We have artificial intelligence on our mobile phones, on our smart TVs, and on our schools today. And maybe next time we will invite here the ChatGPT and Gemini, Google Gemini, to talk with us, to say a few words about the role of AI in the security field. Well, we go forward. I want to present you our next speaker. Is Mr. Octavian Stancu. Octavian is head of security services and head of cloud cybersecurity at Eviden, Romania. Octavian Stancu, he is an experienced unit lead and IT instructor with strong knowledge in the information technology industry, especially in the field of cybersecurity, networking, cloud, and telecommunications. Octavian, please make your presentation. Yeah, you can move it.
Hello. So, hello everyone. Thank you for the invitation. It's our sixth time here representing Eviden and our partnership towards West University. So thank you again for our long-standing relation and commitment to this relation. I'm honored that I have the chance to speak today about a topic that is not only fascinating, but it's also very impactful. So the race for the artificial intelligence, the lessons we need to learn for the future. I do see that our audience is very diverse, so we have industry leaders. So artificial intelligence has become an integrated part of our lives, of our industries. In Eviden, as global leaders in cybersecurity, we are also witnessing firsthand the potential transformation that artificial intelligence brings to the cybersecurity field, enriching measurements, enriching our response, enriching automation for complex processes. Before going more to security, I would like to quote a report from Gartner from 2023. They did a study called Hype Cycle for Artificial Intelligence. So how is this artificial intelligence rush is going to look like in 5 years and 10 years? So they divided it in 5 stages. And I think we are still in stage 1. Stage 1, so you can imagine a graph. Stage 1, it's called innovation trigger. So here is where all the new technologies emerge, capturing the imagination, capturing the interest of early adopters and investors. So I think we are on this road, accelerating high. At one point, we'll go into stage 2. Stage 2 is at the peak. It's called peak of inflated expectations. Meaning, in this peak, usually the reality of the technology limitation kicks in. So everybody is so hyped, but the technology will have a back up slope of enlightenment. And then, as the technology becomes mainstream and accessible to everyone, we have a plateau. So going up, down, up, plateau. So this is the trend in 5 to 10 years. Going back to cyber, in cybersecurity field, AI shows a lot of promise. In Eviden, we have 17 security operations centers all over the world. One is here in Romania, in Timișoara. We also recently opened the Cloud Security Cloud Security Operations Center in Timișoara. And in these security concentrated centers, there are 4 pillars. There are the people, the processes, the techniques, and the tools. So in order to fight cyber criminals, we need the latest tools. Same like the army needs the latest weapons, cybersecurity needs the latest tools. AIs are showing a lot of promise. In Eviden, we are developing our own integrated AI tools, not only us, but also other market leaders. So we see a common trend to include in what we call SIEMs. It's a security incident event management tool. It's a tool that shows visibility on the environments. It's like the eyes of the defender. It shows where securities are happening. AI is embedded here, and every major player in cybersecurity is doing it. So these are examples that highlight how AI is not just a theoretical concept, but a practical tool in enhancing our efforts. On the other side of the fence, because security is not only about defending, I'll make the same analogy with the army, it's not only defending, it's also offensive. In the offensive part, I'll not say the exact tool name, but I'll give an example. We can call it NEO. NEO, it's an artificial intelligence-based tool. It's like ChatGPT. It's an interface between a human and a powerful offensive security system. For example, Kali Linux. It's an operating system full of offensive hacking tools. And this artificial intelligence can stay between the advanced security tool and the user. So if in the past, people that wanted to do bad, that wanted to do hacking, that wanted to do cyber criminal needed to have extensive security knowledge, now this is more accessible because they have these kinds of interface tools, these AI-based tools. Imagine giving a weapon to a child. Of course, it depends to us how we use it, right? So the democratization of the powerful tools, security tools, yes, it underscores the potential of AI, but we can also use it for learning or for ethical hacker purposes. So we move into the ethics part, a very important point I want to touch. Ethics is paramount when it comes to developing and deploying artificial intelligence. Ethical use, AI should always be used in a moral and social responsible way. Fairness, AI should be unbiased. Transparency, and I think a very important one, human-centric design. The AI should enhance the human capabilities rather than replace them. And talking about replacement, I want to touch a very discussed topic around AI, the fear of job loss, right? So is AI going to take my job? Yes, it's a common concern that AI would lead to significant job displacement. However, we must remember that yes, it will change our jobs, but also other technologies did, like the digitalization, right? The usage of the PC. It will not do it in the same manner. I think it will do it faster and in a more aggressive way. But for sure, it will do it. And I would like to say a recent quote, a famous quote. Is AI going to take our jobs? No. A person using AI, leveraging its benefits, bringing more value, yeah, that they might. So what's the moral? Instead of fearing it, let's understand it. Let's be proactive in using it to our advantage. So again, working in cybersecurity, I can say that those who adapt and learn to work with the latest tool will be at the forefront of the field. And it's my third, AI in healthcare, of course in cybersecurity, in learning, but we'll have to take that road to see where it leads us. So as a conclusion, artificial intelligence is here to stay. It's not just a passing trend. It's a trend that is going to transform. And what I would like to add, everybody's talking about artificial intelligence. What about the human intelligence? Those two should be complementary to each other, should enrich each other. So education, it's more important than ever. everyone should invest in themselves and in education, and include AI as well. In Eviden, we do believe in education. That's why we thank our partners. With the West University, we are also teaching in cybersecurity master program. So human intelligence and AI intelligence go together. Start using AI, rely on your natural intelligence, augment your abilities, and yes, let's continue to explore and harness the power of AI, but responsibly, ethically, and in a secure manner. Thank you for your attention.
Yes, thank you, Octavian. Yes, very interesting insights about how artificial intelligence can be put in an opposite side of human intelligence. But I want to underline and to tell you that researchers and experts for strong AI that is able to be similar with the human intelligence, yeah, to have the ability to learn, to have the ability to understand. And the third phase is the super intelligent AI. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about that stage, but now we are in the first stage. We have time to do something that put regulations and put accent on the ethical aspects of the artificial intelligence, to use it in a good way. Well, we continue our panel session with our next speaker. Our next speaker is Mr. Horia Bogdan Velicu. Mr. Velicu is the head of Innovation Lab at BRD Group Societe Generale from Romania. Horia leads a team of data scientists and developers who conduct cutting-edge machine learning, research and development for various banking applications and products. He has over 20 years of experience in banking and consulting, with a focus on financial markets and risk management. He is also associated with the Institute for Logic and Data Science, where he collaborates with academic and industry partners on advancing the field of AI. Horia, the stage is yours, please.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Yeah, so I come from a bank, so I will speak most about usage of AI in the banking system. I lead a team of developers, and I work very much with the ecosystem, with the researchers in universities, with the startups. So the field is quite large. So to become a little bit more concrete, to give you an example how we use in our daily life AI in banking, there are different modalities. So if, for example, we start with the most common, which is numbers, we have a lot of figures about our clients, transactions, as you well know, huge databases. And here we have several use cases, some linked, for example, to frauds, to detect, for example, money laundering frauds or credit card frauds, or even very complex schemes of extracting money from victims, which we call internal frauds. So here we use machine learning to analyze this significant amount of data and find patterns. We have a supervised learning approach, so we learn from cases that we know that are negative, but we also have anomaly detection approach, so to find patterns that we didn't know it exists before. And this offers us slowly an edge before the attackers finish their scheme. The second big usage of figures in banking are, of course, marketing domains. It's about personalization in working with the client, about finding the right product for the right client at the right time, or even the right channel. This is a trend that started many years ago, and now it's, I would say, in full maturity. We see more and more this approach of personalization, for example, when we are using Netflix or other platforms that recommend us a particular product. I wanted also to think in my talk about the potential risk in the future, because the session today is called Learning from the Future. And if I think about personalization, I think if we exaggerate too much on this, it will lead to clustering of society, of our clients, because we will tend more and more to equip with the same kind of products some clients, and this will be very limiting. It's what's happening today in social media, for example, where opinions are very polarized and we live in our own cluster. And we really don't want to do that. So it's a note to self, let's say, to consider very much diversity. So to try to fight this personalization, which seems good initially. Another thing on marketing is trying to estimate the potential value of a client. So not focusing just on the present, but focusing on the future, and try to estimate different trajectories, what might happen with the client, what products he might get in time, and how he will evolve. And this is very difficult. It's not easy to spot these kind of patterns, but we are investing in it, and more companies are doing this, because at the end of the day, you want to focus again on the potential, high potential clients. Again, the risk is to be too polarized. Another modality which we investigate is computer vision. This is more for monitoring branch activity, for trying to find anomalies in what the video cameras are capturing, and try to detect the incidents automatically. I believe this would be the future in terms of physical security in the branch. It has its own downsides. It can have false positives. It's prone to adversarial network attacks and so all kinds of computer vision flaws, but definitely this is the future. Another modality would be sound, which is more on the authentication side, on the voice chatbots and interaction, automated interaction with the client by phone. This is at the beginning, I should say. It's in principle promising, because you would automate interaction, but it has a lot of traps, and it's prone to deepfakes. So I don't see this as a main actor. I mean, it should be doubled by a second authentication factor and other measures. And I kept for the last, the most important modality, which will get a lot of traction, and it's about text, obviously. It's about LLMs. Here we started to think about it last year, immediately after OpenAI appeared. And because we are a Romanian bank, and because there is a lot of Romanian text to be processed and to be summarized, or the conversations are in Romanian, and because as a bank it's not easy to work directly with OpenAI, with Microsoft, because of confidentiality or security reasons, the answer was pretty obvious: to use open source models on-premise infrastructure. And when we look at the open source community, last year in March approximately, research founded via the Institute for Logic and Data Science, we gathered the main researchers in Polytechnic University, in Bucharest University, on NLP. And we trained the institution in the country, public or private, and I think it's a key ingredient for the future, for this technology in Romania. The way we use it in the bank is, number one, I think all the companies in the world are building what is called RAG, the Retrieval Augmented Generation approach, where you build an LLM to query your own database of documents, like chatting with your own internal knowledge base. So we built this. First to give to our staff, which is pretty high. It's about 5,000 employees. And maybe in the future to our clients. Now, this is the most obvious case, but there are other cases very, very interesting, at least in a bank, with a huge structured database, a lot of Excel files, tables, reports. And this is what is called text to SQL. So making an interface using an LLM to have the user ask in natural language to combine structured data. So basically have the AI build SQL queries. And this we investigated very much. And of course, last but not least, the production of code, the code development. We write a lot of code. We need to test it and so on, and document it. And here is also high efficiency potential. And I saved the last topic, which I am a very high believer in. And this is linked to LLM agents, if you are accustomed to the term. LLM agents for everybody is, if you're using, let's say, ChatGPT or Bard, and you ask a question about something present, and the GPT goes on the web and searches, the fact that it goes on the web and searches, this is an agent doing a web search. Sometimes it's an agent who builds a PowerPoint, runs some code and builds a PowerPoint for you with some images. This is an agent. So it's like a tool. It's like a specialized worker that the LLM delegates some task to it. And I think a few years ago we were talking a lot about robotic process automation, about RPA. It was the time of UiPath, and everybody was doing routine task automation. But now we are transitioning to more complex task automation, and basically you give a complex task which involves many agents, like going to a portal on a web, get some data about the client, look into internal database, combine this, write a document, maybe write a mail, maybe receive a mail. And this can be orchestrated by an LLM, and here we pass on to the next layer, not just perception, but also cognitive layer, and have an LLM split the task, delegates the task, and even have some critics on the results on it and improve it. And my last point, and this is, I think, the highest risk if we try to come from the future, is when these LLMs start to complement each other and to critique each other and learn from one another. If you're accustomed, maybe you heard about some times ago, there was a big breakthrough in AI called AlphaGo, when the researchers from DeepMind made a model that beat the world champion at Go. Initially, the AlphaGo was built using history of human games with their end results. So he tried to learn from human experience, from experts, like a normal machine learning supervised case. But after that breakthrough, at some, not very later after that, it was another one, maybe not well known, called AlphaZero, when they made an even better solution without using humans at all. So just putting two AIs play with each other from scratch, without knowledge, like learning from nothing, just the basic rules, and they played so many times and so many millions of games that they become even better than any human and an AlphaGo. And I believe this might happen also with the LLMs today. They will start to play with each other and critique each other and try to learn from experience and arrive at conclusions or insights that were never developed by humans, and we might never even understand them. So this is a big risk. But any opportunity comes with risk. So yeah, that was my talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Horia, for your insightful presentation. Yes, it's very, yeah, it's quite interesting that, for example, in one of our projects, we trained an assistant based on LLM with our personal knowledge, and we faced the adversarial attack. Guys who want to train our assistant with bad things, yeah, to put in the prompts things that be in adversarial way of our knowledge base. Yeah, the LLM have that risk. The LLM have two main risks: the adversarial attack and the hallucination of that kind of models. Okay, now we can take questions from audience. Please feel free to ask questions to our experts, please. It's too hot topics. It's too hot topic, too technical. Yeah? Then I want to ask you few questions. I will start with Mr. Posha. I write here a question that is related that artificial intelligence represents an opportunity for development. Take it in this way. What is Romania's national perspective, and how does the Ministry of Research, Innovation and Digitization cooperate with the private sectors to develop this direction?
It's on. Okay. It's very simple. As you know, we like a minister and also like a government. I think the only way we can go through it's cooperation between private sectors and the government. So yes, when we talk about the cooperation between these two sectors, I think the most important is to stay at the same table and to have a very clear discussion about the rules, as I mentioned before, and to write the right policies and to put it on the paper to provide a very good perspective for the business and also for the public sector, because otherwise you can develop nothing. If we talk about R&D, it must be, let's say, a middle way, because it's very simple. Everybody wants to make money, but I think the most important for the public sector is to have a very good rules and to provide the rules in benefit of all people of the country.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Posha. Now, Eli, Alexandru, Mr. Alexandru, I want to ask you, how much will artificial intelligence influence your company's business and the security of communication networks?
Well, I think we'll have a high impact also on the business development, because AI used in a proper way will for sure increase efficiency, operation efficiency in all kind of industry and domains. And that's something everyone is aware and conscious about it. In terms of security, again, as I mentioned during my presentation, there are opportunity and risks equally weighted, because the artificial intelligence can be equally used by attackers and defenders. And that's always, it's always a matter of thinking on AI like the present forward or the future backward. It depends how you're looking at it. It's starting from the point, from past experience, and imagine where you want to achieve, what's your goal, or imagine the future and trying to predict and plan the steps backward. So, well, that's for sure a topic to be followed, the way artificial intelligence, the Gen AI, the future LLM models, the way they will contribute, well, hopefully for a better quality of life, better business environment, a safer world, and, well, that's my answer on that.
Okay, thank you, Alexandru. Another question. So, Octavian, I want to address your question because I know that you are involved in the educational projects and so on. What do you think? What training and educational initiatives are necessary to build AI expertise in Romania, in Balkans, for security purposes? What training and educational initiatives do you think that would be better to face that challenges?
Thank you for the question. It's a very good one. First of all, we don't have such initiatives started at a serious level, and we should. When AI first went mainstream, I've been using it in teaching, and first of all I thought, yeah, it's just a toy. Then, yeah, it's useful. Now, I don't know to trust it or not, because of what you said, the data coming in. If it's polluted, you have data coming out. But I think we should, for sure, include it in our curriculums as fast as possible. Not only in cyber, but also in other domains. The young generation are doing it as we speak. Either we like it or not, they are using AI in school to work faster, to get better grades, to fool the system, to whatever. They are already using it. So it's just like legislation. We don't have time to see the effect and then do something. We have to anticipate. What I would like to see is have AI, education on AI, starting with ethics on how to use it and where to use it and where not to use it. The technical part of it, I think every field would put on their flavors, and we shouldn't put any limits. Every field, cyber, technical, non-technical, medical, whatever, we should let them define what benefits AI could bring for them. But the ethic part, I think it's a point to start. So yeah, we have our initiative to build a lab.
Yeah.
Maybe we can also evolve something on the AI part.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And a short question for Horia. How can AI be used to predict and prevent security threats in your company?
Yeah, like I mentioned, so we have a lot of security threats, obviously. We have these kind of frauds which are happening at the transaction level. So we have the cards, the money laundering, the financing of terrorism, and all these kind of transactions not allowed. And we try to spot them via AI, which is much more efficient than the human experts. We had, to give you an example, we built one you might know about Palantir platform. So we actually doubled the efficiency. We had like same type of same number of cases identified with half of time and false alerts. So this is numbers is easy for me. I would say this is the easy part. The most difficult part is client interaction. So whenever we talk about authentication, whenever we talk about social engineering of a scheme called the investment scheme, you might see in the news. Like usually old people, seniors, were fooled with promises of big gains on capital markets or cryptocurrency, and they lost a lot of money. And
we take care, because we'll have far-reaching consequences for generations to come. Thank you to all our speakers and panelists for your invaluable contributions, and thank you to our audience for your engagement and thoughtful questions. Now we want to make a few, because it's my role to close all the event. We're closing the event, all the event. This enlightening conference, enlightening event, 8th edition of Security Challenges in the Balkans region. I would like to extend my gratitude to each one of you for your active participation and invaluable contributions. And I want to underline that security in Balkans is not just a regional concern, but a global one. Therefore, it is imperative that we continue to foster collaboration, to make interdisciplinary teams, shared intelligence, and support initiatives that promote peace and stability in the Balkans. A crucial element is the transformative power of education. Education is not just a tool for personal development, but a cornerstone for societal resilience. Education enhances critical thinking. Education promotes understanding and tolerance. Education equips the younger generation to navigate and mitigate the complex security challenges of our times. I want to underline that West University of Timișoara has a strong strategy to adapt their education curricula and their research programs to face these challenges. In closing, I would like to express my gratitude to our organizers for their hard work in making this conference a success, to our speakers, to our panelists, and to all participants for your engagement. And I want to underline that together we can make the difference. God bless us, and I wish you a nice weekend.